If you were born with a wrench in one hand and a second wrench in the other, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. If you alternate your alternators, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. If when asked to see a picture of your baby, you show a picture of your car, then CarQuest is for you. That's because CarQuest is for those who really know and care about their car. With well over 500,000 quality parts and accessories, CarQuest is serious auto parts. Visit CarQuest.com.
All right, thanks for the download button on the Unleashed Show. We are just 3 days away from WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, and that means we're just 3 days away from your chance to do a DDP yoga workout with Diamond Dallas Page himself. He's in Dallas. Dallas is in Dallas, and he's holding a special DDP Yoga WrestleMania workshop on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the Larry North Fitness Center at Solana Club. You can work out with Dallas himself, learn some breathing techniques, set some goals, ask him questions, and take a picture or two. And if you're not going to be in Texas this weekend, you can still change your life with DDP Yoga. Just order the program at ddpyoga.com/Austin, and then you will receive 3 free months of the new DDP Yoga Now app. And this app is money, people. Scientific, badass. Dallas has thought of everything, and you can do live workouts from the DDP Yoga Performance Center. You can access recipes, cooking demonstrations, and nutrition guides. Nutrition guides are important, and you can do it all from your phone. Dallas is giving you everything you need to get on a path to healthier living, and he's making it as easy as possible, doing it for the working man. The DDP Yoga Now app is available at iTunes and for Android. So get the DDP Yoga program at ddpyoga.com/Austin and take advantage of the 3 free months of the DDP Yoga Now app. Like Dallas always says, all you got to do is commit. So make that commitment now at ddpyoga.com/Austin.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production.
He started in a small town in Texas. Worked his ass off to become one of the most famous wrestlers of all time.
We're going to take care of business tonight, and that's the bottom line.
And now he's dominating the world of on-demand audio. And he's doing it for the working man.
This is a damn good outlet for me to spew the bullshit off my brain.
Yeah! This is the Steve Austin Show. Unleashed.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. I am coming to you from the great state of Texas. I am in the Big D, Dallas, Texas. Right now, as I record the opening of this podcast, it's Wednesday. Tomorrow live, as you listen to this podcast, if you download on Thursday, 3:31, Thursday night, I am talking to the one and only hardcore legend, my good friend, WWE Hall of Famer, all-around nice guy, Mick Foley. Looking forward to talking to my good friend and a guy who has influenced a hell of a lot of people with his career and impacted a whole lot of people who loved watching him do what he did. He had one of the best runs in the history of the business. I'm talking to him on Thursday on the Stone Cold Podcast on the WWE Network, and it will be live and in living color. I'm looking forward. AT&T Stadium, the house that Jerry built. How many people can WrestleMania and the WWE jam in this building? We're about to find out. I wish all the guys and gals going to Dubai and put on a show the best of luck. This is the time to maximize your potential, your opportunity. Go and get over and do yourself proud. And just wish everybody comes into this event with a positive mindset, leaves with a healthy body, and it's a great experience for the people there in the ring and the people out there who paid their hard-earned money and came from all over the world to watch and enjoy WrestleMania. It's going to be a great event. I will be there live and in person. Well, hopefully I'll be alive. I think I got a few days left in me. Nonetheless, hey, man, here's what happened today. I sent out a tweet on my social media account, Steve Austin BSR. You're going to hear me tell the story here in a little bit to my guest. I said, hey, man, you guys send me some questions. I'm going to do a Q&A. And I got the same damn questions I've been getting pretty much for the last 3 years. So I was sitting there going through the questions, and thank you for sending them in. First of all, let me say thank you very much. If it wasn't for you people that listened to the podcast, gave a shit about it, or sent in your questions, I wouldn't have a podcast. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for sending in the questions. But they were pretty much by and large, the same questions that are always sent in, and I always get these emails that say, hey, Steve, you keep answering the same questions over and over again, so now I kind of remember, as bad as my memory is, which questions I've answered over and over again, so I didn't want to do that. So I'm sitting there with my thumb up my ass, and I'm thinking, man, I got to have a podcast. I turned in the last show real late and put a bind on Stacy because it was so late, and she works her ass off, so I figured I've got to do something. So I went down to the green room, and I rustled up the Big Show. And I said, hey, dude, I said, what's up? And he goes, what's going on? I said, you got 45 minutes? And he said, yeah, what do you need? I said, man, I need a podcast. I said, I told him the reasons, what had happened. And he goes, shit, yeah. I said, you don't have to do anything? He says, no, I got an appearance here in about an hour, but I got time to do your podcast. So anyway, this is a whole different conversation that I had with the Big Show the first time I talked to him, a whole different show from the last time I talked to him on the WWE Network. He's one of my favorite guys to talk to. He was a very close friend. So we just sit here and shot the breeze, and I think you're going to enjoy today's conversation. We'll talk about today's business, days gone by, crowd, psychology, the crowd, the NXT movement, all kinds of bullshit. And we happen to crack open a couple of Broken Skull IPAs and have a couple of cold ones. So it was a great conversation. Thank you, Paul, for helping me out. I appreciate it very much. I think you'll dig this conversation. I will leave that up to you. Once again, here's how I run my podcast. I run this podcast exactly like I run my life. I always tell people, every now and then I'll wake up in the middle of the morning and we'll be eating breakfast. I'll look over at my wife and I'll say, you know what? I think I'm going to head down to the ranch in about 2 days. And my wife will look at me and she'll go, okay, well, how long are you going to stay? I said, about 7 days, but I'll play it by ear. And she says, okay. 2 days later, I'm driving down to the ranch. 7 days later, 8 days later, I'm driving back. I don't make too many long-term plans. I don't carve anything in stone. And my brother will tell you where he's going to be on vacation in 2 years, exactly where he's going to be, what time he's going to be there, and how long they're going to be doing what. I don't do that. I go just by, man, I wake up and, if I have a shoot lined up or some kind of shit like that, a project, or if I'm working on Broken Skull Challenge or Redneck Island, well, then I have those dates booked and I know what I'm going to do. But other than that, as far as the podcast goes, play it by ear, fly by the seat of my pants. That's what I've done my whole life. Sometimes it works me into a jam, but that's just how I roll. And that's my lifestyle, and that's the way I do things. So all of a sudden I got those same questions. I was like looking out this damn window thinking, dude, you're going to turn in a boring-ass podcast, and your listeners going to be pissed off. Hell, I do this damn show for the working man and the working woman. They need something better than you flapping your gums about the same questions you done answered 20 times before. So you will enjoy, trust me, you will enjoy today's conversation with the Big Show. He's he's a funny motherfucker. And again, thank you for your questions that you sent in to the show. And with that being said, one more shout-out, Wrestlemania 32, happening this Sunday, Dallas, Texas, AT&T Stadium. You can watch it free on the WWE Network. It's a great time to try it out. But anyway, let's take care of some business. Let's get into my conversation with the Big Show. He's funny as shit. You're going to dig this. But anyway, I can't say enough about the 5-4 Club. I just can't believe that you can have new clothes delivered right to your door. I know most of you guys like me. You hate to shop. You hate the mall. It's a chore to have to try stuff on. And it probably makes your girl crazy, too, having to go with you or even do your clothes shopping for you. So join the 54club.com and forget about all that. You can look good without stepping foot into the mall and without dropping your whole month's paycheck on new duds. You get to pick your sizes, you personalize your style preference and color choice. Tell them if you're looking for clothes for the office, a lazy weekend hanging at the crib, or a night out on the town. You can choose your own style profile, classic, casual, forward, or mix, and then you wait for the clothes to show up. And did I mention that you do all of that right from your phone, your tablet, or your computer, and that you get all of that for just $60 a month? Swig a beer for technology. And if you go to 54club.com and use the promo code Austin at sign up, you'll get a free pair of Robert Geller sunglasses, which is a $100 value. You can change up your style choices and colors before each delivery, too. And if something don't fit right, you just send it back, and 5-4 Club will send you the right size. And the best part, 5-4 Club also gives you style tips to show you how to wear everything and what to wear it with. They've made your wardrobe idiot-proof. So go to 54club.com and use the promo code Austin at sign up. And you'll also get a free pair of Robert Geller sunglasses. That's a $100 value. That's 54club.com and use the promo code Austin at sign up.
PodcastOne.com is proud to be the nation's largest ad-supported network.
Providing you over 200 of your favorite shows with limited commercial interruption.
And guess what?
What?
Now, we're going to give you even more.
Oh, yes.
That's right. For less than the cost of a dozen Krispy Kremes,
You can now fill your face with Podcast One Premium.
our newest edition, which gives you access to exclusive commercial-free interviews from big names like Seth Rogen, Bryan Cranston, Charles Barkley, Vince Vaughn, Mark Wahlberg, Steph Curry, and more.
Amazing. Plus original content from our biggest shows, not available anywhere else on the planet.
That's not all. Unlimited access to over 3,000 archives, a chance to ask your favorite host anything you want, and possibly even meet them.
Wow.
So now you can have it both ways.
Listen like you always have and spend a little cash supporting our sponsors.
Yes, thank you.
Or spend even less and get a whole lot more with Podcast One Premium.
The choice is yours.
Sign up for premium now at podcastone.com. Steve Austin Unleashed.
All right, welcome to Steve Austin Show. I'm coming to you from the room I'm staying at the Fairmont Hotel. That's right, I gave out my hotel number. But it doesn't matter because they got so much damn security over there, nobody can get to me. My guest today is the Big Show, Paul White. You're probably sitting there thinking, well, goddamn, you've been talking to the Big Show 2 or 3 times already. That's right, and I'm talking to him again. Here's what happened. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I sent out a message on my Twitter account, Steve Austin BSR. I said, hey, you guys send me some questions and some shit like that, either on the email or on my Twitter account, hashtag SAS, and I'll answer your questions when I get to the hotel. Well, I got to the hotel. I got on my iPhone, got on my computer, or my computer, as Dusty Rhodes would say, and it was the same goddamn questions y'all been asking for 3 damn years. So I'm sitting there with my thumb up my ass, looking out the damn window, knowing I got to turn in a show to Stacy because I done turned in the last show late because I had a bunch of shit going on. So I'm thinking, well, what the fuck am I going to do? So I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll down the elevator. I'm going to go down to the green room because all the WWE superstars are rolling in, and I'll see if I can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I got the biggest piece of chicken salad I've ever seen, 450 pounds of it. His name is The Big Show. I'm going to hand him his damn microphone right now. Paul, welcome to the damn shizzo, brother.
Oh, this is more my kind of show. The last one we were on was kind of like the real PG version. I actually got in trouble for that one. At least now this one we're more honest and real. You know, the Broken Skull IPA is flowing. I'm going to go to an appearance and shake some hands, probably half lit, 3:15, so I'm good.
Dude, now see, this is not a family-friendly show. Obviously, I thought we rolled into the Stone Cold podcast that you were just going to be under the assumption that because we were on live television on the WWE Network that you would just take it for granted that it was family-friendly. And all of a sudden, you started dropping F-bombs and people were sending my Twitter account, man, I could see you selling every time Big Show dropped an F-bomb.
Well, you know what it was? You did such a great job on that show, and your teamwork that does all the research for that show brought up some pictures of my dad that I hadn't seen in 15, 20 years. And, you know, it was real, and it hit me in the gut. So I might have forgot family friendly, and it just turned into me talking to a friend and telling them the stories. So I apologize to those that I offended and those that can't get over it. Screw it.
Nobody. Let me jump in there, man. Ain't nobody offended by that shit, man. We got to be real. We on the damn Unleashed show. Fuck a motherfucker offended. I'm just kidding you. If you got offended and I just told you to go fuck yourself, I'm kidding. That's how we roll out here in the Steve Austin.
Well, you know what?
Dude, I keep it real on this damn show.
Yeah, you do. I love your show. It's quick. It's happening. There's not a slow point in it. I like the Paul Harvey commercials you do every now and then where you throw them in and you'll pump the Cold Steel Knives. You'll pump the Broken Skull IPA. You know. I'm waiting for it's the right thing to do, like the oatmeal commercials too.
Goddamn, my brother got bills to pay just like everybody else. If I could sling a pocket pocket knife here, a beer there. You know,
I'm not blaming you. It's good beer and it's a damn good pocket knife too. And I'm actually holding one now that you gave me for coming onto your show. I appreciate it.
I gave you the one with the gray handle. I got one with the orange handle. I'll trade you if you want.
No,
See, a lot of the ones I like the louder handles because you can see them better. I'll sit this summit down. Look at this great. I got an iPhone. We're going to talk about iPhone right now because you just got one, and I got one of these indestructible cases, and we'll see how long this summit lasts because I can tear anything up.
Right.
Big Show has worked with me. He knows that's true.
You're pretty stiff.
But see, the thing about this is it blends in with all the surroundings. So that's why I like this orange one or the gray one that I gave you.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten one of the outer boxes from like the hunting store there.
Dude, there's an outer box right here.
Yeah, but they got orange. They got hunting ones that are orange.
I know I had one of those, but then I figured when I got this new phone, I kind of kayfabe it because this so much is the size of a fucking laptop.
Yeah, I got
you
the
got
big
the gigantic one.
Well, I got big fingers. I need a bigger phone.
These mitts ain't exactly.
That's
and
true.
here's what it thinks. I'll sit there because you was a BlackBerry guy forever,
right?
And some dude will sit there and say, "Well, you know, I was going to get an iPhone, but I got these fingers and these hands, and I just can't text on one." Okay, now the Big Show's got a gigantic mitt. I got a catcher's mitt over here.
Right.
It ain't like I'm fucking some surgeon over here.
You know what it was?
But this dude just had like regular size hands and said, "No, I can't text on one." Well, I do, motherfucker. I mean, now you're a whole different ball game. You ought to be texting on a fucking iPad.
Yeah, what the thing was for me is, who actually turned me on to doing the iPhone was Rusev. Because I saw Rusev check into a hotel, got his rental car. He never talked to a single person. He did everything through an app. Went up to the hotel, picked up his key, checked in through the app on his phone, picked his rental car up on the app through his phone. I'm like, you did all that through your iPhone. That's the end of my BlackBerry. I went to the iPhone.
So you gonna tell me the Bulgarian Brute? I like him.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, good dude. And at times I got to see him backstage and talk to him. Super cat, and I like his work. So you're telling me the Bulgarian Brute has got a brain in his head and he's all tech savvy?
Yeah, he is. He's pretty sharp. It surprised me. I mean, he's no Kane as far as being intelligent. We know Kane's the smartest guy in the business, without a doubt.
Well, he done read about 6 million books.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the next president of the United States one of these days. Watch, Kane's going to do it.
He's smart enough to. Hey, man, I don't want to delve into politics, but I wish he was running for the presidential spot right now because
it
it's
looks
a
pretty
full-blown
weak,
clusterfuck going right now. And I'm not going to profess to be a Republican or Democrat. I'm just saying, man.
As an American, I'm worried right now about who is going to represent our country in leadership. That's what I'm concerned about. I mean, bottom line is take care of our schools, take care of our kids, take care of our homeless, take care of our troops. I'm good for that. But at the same time, you still have to put up a strong front to other countries because, let's face it, there's a lot of people that would love to kick the crap out of us and have what we have. So it's nerve-wracking for me to look now and like who represents, okay? You look at these different candidates. Who do you believe in? Who's telling you the truth? Who's BSing you? Or is it all a wash? I don't know.
But damn, man, when the GOPs was throwing everybody under the bus, this guy's wife, that guy's wife, and then it was before it dwindled down to those two, the three before, and it was just unbearable. And then on the other side of that, again, I'm not going to go too far,
right?
But when a socialist is in the running.
Yeah,
I'm just, I can't play that shit.
No, I can't either. Bro.
I can't see it, but nonetheless, it's very unnerving when you sit there. Okay, let's just say Putin is right across the table from me, and I'm either Hillary or I'm Trump.
Mm-hmm. Who is he going to be more intimidated by? Who is he going to respect more? I don't know. I mean, when you deal with business, to me, I look at Trump a little bit kind of like Reagan was back in the 80s. Reagan was a nice person, but they also thought Reagan was a little nuts. They didn't want to mess with him. You know what I mean? And maybe that's a good it factor. Maybe Trump is just smart enough and savvy enough and crazy enough that they'll think maybe I don't want to push this cat. Maybe I want to give him some space. Who knows? Maybe they want to call his
But he
bluff.
never really goes into specifics or, when it goes about policy. Now, I know he's going to surround himself with a great team if he were to be the guy.
Yeah.
But then when you got the FBI, the Benghazi thing, all the email, security breach,
that irresponsibility
Hillary,
is
I'm
crazy.
like, man, come on, man. Let's get off of it. So, hey, you got Rusev's phone number? Because I want you to just give me his phone number. I'm some kayfabe and send him a text. I just want to send him a text. Now, the text would just say 2 words, but I'll go ahead and use the accent. I just want to text him like 6 times a day. Rusev, Crush.
All right, I'll look you up. He's a good guy.
He's gonna say, dude, what the fuck is going
He's
on?
a good guy.
How did Austin get my phone number?
Yeah, okay, favorite.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I ain't gonna get Rusev's phone number. But, hey, man, we're sitting here in Dallas, Texas, drinking a couple of Broken Skull IPAs. Shameless plug. I gave
that's a damn
Big
good
Show.
beer, by the way.
No, there's
I'm
not
not
a whole
afraid
lot
to
of
shamelessly
guys
plug
in
it.
Dallas, Texas, in the Fort Worth area, in the United States in general, much less the world, that would just pick a 7-foot guy that weighs 450 pounds to fuck with. But if they do, he's now armed with the cold steel Broken Skull Steve Austin knife. So watch your ass if you see this motherfucker coming, because you will see him coming from a long ways off.
Yeah, I'd hate to have to cut you with my pretty knife. I
Hey,
don't want
dude,
that.
we're at WrestleMania, and I was talking to you down in the green room because I'd been watching some old clips. People always send me this old shit from back in the day.
Right.
And half of it, I guess, is analog or VHS stuff off YouTube, stuff that I did back in the day. But I was watching some shit from 2000, 2001, seeing your ass in company. Youngster.
Yeah.
How many WrestleManias you been a part of now?
I think this is my 16th WrestleMania.
And performing in,
Yeah,
working in?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you weren't on the sidelines. You've been actively.
Yeah, I've been in every WrestleMania except 2007. I was off that year. I took that year off, but I've been in all of them. Yeah.
You always look forward to the big shows because a lot of people get clammed up. Some people get nervous. But I think, speaking for myself, I always look forward to it because
Yeah.
it was a proven ground.
Right.
And I would dare say like 99% of the boys and the gals. When I say the boys, I mean the girls too.
Right.
I'd say 99% of the boys, they're ready.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is our. You work hard to be at this show all year. This is our Super Bowl, Triple Crown, Stanley Cup, whatever the analogy is. I mean, the only difference is we don't have an off season. We'll just start right in Monday, and here we go till next year. Everybody looks forward to this show. I think there's going to be a lot of cats. It's going to be their first WrestleMania this year. Some of the younger guys that have come up from NXT and stuff are going to be performing. I think the biggest thing about this show that really is throwing me a loop, and we're filling this big-ass building, this big-ass house, we are missing a lot of our big dogs just due to injury. We don't have Seth Rollins. We don't have John Cena. We don't have Randy Orton. Luke Harper's out injured now. Cesaro's still hurt. Neville just got hurt. Yep. I mean, so you're looking at these guys that are really important players in the product, in the show. How do you fill those holes? And you know what? We have so much talent. The holes are being filled. We got some exciting matches this year. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a really great WrestleMania, but in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking like, wow, this is a hell of a challenge. I wouldn't want to be in Vince's spot right now trying to put this card together when I'm missing John Cena and Seth Rollins. I mean, you got to figure how hard both of those cats, John's like absolutely ridiculous how long he's been able to work on top. Like him or not, like his style.
No, but just
I admire John because I'm telling you something. He's the same fucking dude that walked in day one to me today as he was the first day he walked in. He's the same cat, and he hasn't changed.
I agree, and the guy didn't get anything handed to him. So, I mean,
dude, everybody hated him.
They held him back.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know what to do with this guy coming with the rap thing. And all of a sudden, I mean, he's good at it, and people started catching on to it. So, anyway, here we are all these years later. I give him a shout-out just because of how tough and durable he is. And then when he does get hurt, how quick he comes back. Nonetheless, he's in a little bit behind the 8 ball still with the shoulder, the rotator cuff, or whatever that was. But here's the thing. You go into a big show like WrestleMania, all the people that you just named are gone. If you get on the internet, there's so many people say, when is Cena going to finally put somebody over?
When is
Cena going to stop holding everybody down? Cena's gone. Seth Rollins is gone. Cesaro was kept trying him. He's almost there. He almost makes it and he gets back down. I love a guy. Neville got hurt. He's a dynamic guy. He's going to be good. He's a veteran in the business. Luke Harper I love. But anyway, so those guys are all gone. Randy Orton, tried and true veteran, second, third generation. He never held anybody back. But, I mean, nobody ever. Big Show's telephone just went off. It's a gigantic iPhone. You need to take that call.
No, I don't.
If it's Rusev, tell him I want to answer and just say Rusev Crush.
Rusev Crush, yeah, that was my stupid alarm.
We're drinking Broken Skull IPA, so Big Show owes me one of my own beers.
Yes, sir.
But my point is, nobody's holding nobody down here because if there's ever an opportunity to shine, it's right now with 5 spots on the roster open.
That's such bullshit anyway, Steve. When people say that's a smart mark on a couch trying to be a wrestling coach, that's not the way this business works. You know, this business is about opportunity, and you're given opportunity. You know what I mean? Everybody has an opportunity. John Cena's on top for as long as he's been on top because the cat, you can't catch him. He outworks everybody around him. He's in shape. He has the look. He cuts the best promos. He represents the company well whenever he goes there. He's a tried and true guy that puts asses in seats. I'm sorry, I want John Cena on the show. Just like when you were working, I wanted Stone Cold Steve Austin on the show. I wanted Rock on the show because I knew there were going to be asses in the seats and I was going to make a good payday. John Cena doesn't hold anybody down. John Cena's made more stars since he's gotten made more stars. That's the thing people don't understand. Being champion isn't about winning. When you get that strap, 9 times out of 10, everything's on your head. You got to fill asses in seat, keep ratings up, and you're there to get other guys over. You know, I mean, you know, when you're a champ, that's the whole deal. You're trying to get other talent up to your level and get them over.
Dude, and that's the thing, get them up to your level because you got to have a dance partner. It's one thing to draw a house by yourself. It can be done, but it's the best and easiest. Hey, man, you want that person you're working with to be exactly as over as you or more over than you, whatever the case is. You want the motherfucker to be on time.
Yeah.
So
firing.
Yeah.
Just like a drag car. You want all cylinders firing, everything's going, everybody's running hard. And that's what the thing that I think people don't understand too is like our TV sometimes we've got that extra hour of TV on Raw. I don't think that helps us sometimes because there's too much talking, there's too much bullshit. And the matches that should have more time don't get enough time. You know, it's like a lot of matches that I've had lately has been 6 minutes. Okay, well I got a minute worth of entrance. The other guy's got a minute worth of entrance. You got 4 minutes. You can't tell a story in 4 minutes. You can't. It's damn impossible.
You can't.
You know, and the matches that people think are so great are the matches that usually have 2 segments, 3 segments, because we give you time to get emotionally invested. I think that's one thing we make a mistake of because we're too concerned about people channel flipping because there's so much going on, so they keep Raw so fast-paced. I think we hurt our product a little bit sometimes by not giving people matches they can get emotionally invested in.
But you think, man, I go back to watching some of the old stuff because people send me these clips. I was watching a thing where I think I was coming back from an injury. I don't remember what the fuck the storyline was going on. I forgot half the stuff I did. But the deal was, it was The Rock, and he was going to work with Triple H. And so Vince goes out there, Stephanie's out there, and we're opening a beer here.
Teamwork.
Normally have a... I'm going to put the mic down.
All right. There you go. Good job.
We captured all that. That was Big Show with a gigantic mitt on a beer, and I was trying to pry the cap off with my pocket
hold your
knife.
microphone.
No, you need to pour that at a slant so it doesn't foam up so much.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a bartender.
Anyway, what happened was...
I don't pours the beer. I drinks the beers.
I was just coming back from something, and then Vince goes out there and he holds up a program. This program, many of which you purchase here, says something on the inside. It says, card subject to change. That being said... Stone Cold Steve Austin will not be here tonight. A little bit of booze, and all of a sudden, but before they started cutting that promo, the crowd started rumbling, and Triple H was already in the ring. Rock was yet to come out, and he was on fire at the time. But, man, that crowd was hot. I mean, they started rumbling, and this is before the announcement. I'm just saying they were alive. They knew something was coming. So all of a sudden, they go out there. Here comes Briscoe. Here comes Briscoe. Here comes Patterson.
Yeah.
They start fucking with The Rock. They get a ton of heat on him. Shellac him with the chair, Vince does. And right when Triple H is about to pedigree him, bam, they crash that music, and that crowd come up through the damn roof on my intro. And then later on, they would come out, Earl would come out there and count the 3 count. But my point is not to brag about my entrance blew the roof off. They set it up by the announcement. And then, but the way it was built, Rock was in jeopardy. Yeah. Both guys were super over. But the energy of that crowd was unlike what I see today.
Yeah.
Just the 2 hour, it's a hot fuse. It burns quick at both ends. 3 hours goes on just a little bit too long because, man, you can't throw everything but the kitchen sink at people every single week at 3 hours of time.
You have to pace it. I mean,
you got to pace it.
I know sometimes we have some really hot shows that are like cooking. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then we got to taper back, and there's a lot of talking and this and that and yapping and
there's still some damn good shows, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, when you're watching a 3 hour epic every week rather than that quick burn 2 hours, because if you watch NXT or if you watch Lucha Underground, I mean, it's on and then it's off, and it's like, goddamn, I want more.
Yeah, you want more.
Yeah. So then at 3, when you watch a 3 hour show at that 2.5 hour mark, I mean, you're starting to pull your ear like Vince does.
Yeah.
It's like, get me out of here.
Get me out of here. Yeah.
So, I don't know. 3 hours too long. I'm beating a dead horse.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, I guess the ratings are still good. People are still watching it. I just, like, for me and my product and watching our product, I think a lot of times because we're trying to introduce so much in that 3 hour period, and we have so many stars we're trying to feature, so many guys we're trying to bring up and build that I would wish we could have a little bit more time for some of the key matches, you know, and a little less yapping. And I'm okay with not being on Raw. Personally, I'm okay with not being on Raw every week. Everybody's seen my damn face. I'm good. I can show up every couple of weeks, help somebody out, do a tag. I'm good there. I like working the live events. That's my deal anyway. That TV, I've been on TV enough. I'm sure everybody's sick of looking at my ass anyway. Believe me, I'm tired of the long days at TVs too. But, you know, unless you've got something to get people emotionally invested in, it's really hard. It's funny. We just did a show 2 weeks ago in Philly, and they had me go out and cut a promo.
House show?
I know, it was TV. It was Raw. And I went to Vince and said, Vince, please, dear God, don't let me cut this promo. I mean, this is Philadelphia. I start talking in 20 seconds, they're going to start chanting, please retire. I mean, you know how bad Philadelphia can be, right?
Philly can be brutal.
Oh, God.
I love them because they can be so brutal, but when depending on if you're babyface or
I'm
heel,
a
you dread it.
babyface. Yeah, I'm a babyface. I'm sitting there telling, I mean, I've had 38 turns. So people are keeping up on the internet. I'm like, it's not my choice to turn. I promise you. I'm not, you know, I don't have schizophrenia. I would like to be one way, but this is the way it works. So he says, I said, how about you have social outcasts out there with the Andre Trophy and let them talk shit? Then I'll take offense to it, come out, then Kane can come out, and we'll do it that way. He goes, no. He says, you know how to talk to these people. He says, you can do it. You go out there, you just be you. If you don't like what's written, just go out there and be you and talk to them. So I was all worked up in the back.
Jedi mind trick like a motherfucker.
Oh, my God, yeah. You know, and you fall for it. And I'm sitting there, I'm in the back.
But it convinces you and gives you the confidence. So let's just say fall for it. You can fall for a lot of things with Vince, but when he's talking you up because he believes in you and to your veteran, you know, and you can talk to begin with.
Right.
So he was just pumping you up.
So I went out, did the promo, and I had a bunch of stuff in the back of my head waiting for him.
What happened?
You know, they loved me. They didn't turn on me. And I don't think the promo was...
Really, you cocksuckers.
Yeah. I don't think the promo was as good because I had so much shit in the back of my mind to fire back when they turned on me that my promo was flattered and piss on a plate because they didn't turn on me. You know what I mean? I had worked for them to turn on me. I had all kinds of good lines to get them laughing, to turn them, and they were already like, yeah, we like you, Big Show. We appreciate you. And I'm like, well, hell, that didn't work, did it?
Dude, here's the thing. I did the same thing when I did Triple H on the podcast 10 months ago, whenever it was. The internet, the IWC was just irate about everything that was going on. And so I show up, and first of all, I talked to Triple H for about 2.5 hours because we just catch up on old times shooting the breeze because he's always fun to talk to. And then in the course of 3 hours, they literally quelled any IWC complaint, all the beefs that I had that I was ready to just drop on Triple H, say, well, what about this? What about that? And with pointed, comments and notes of why everybody was so pissed off. And that one episode, they kind of cured everything. And I was sitting there thinking, well, way to go, dipshit. You prepared a lot of defense or offense that was going to be done to represent the IWC, and fuck, they just killed you. They sang my battleship because they answered all the questions on my show, so I shouldn't have prepared myself like that. Sometimes you get yourself worked up into this way, but it's the other way. Yeah. So you just need to go in there with open mind and just say, fuck it.
Yeah, it was a funny thing, though. The Philly thing really got me because I think in 20 years, Philly, New York, the Garden, they'll let your ass have it. If you're not there and ready to play, they know and they'll let you have it. And I was just dreading it because I talk on the mic, but most of the time it's shit I don't want to say anyway. Oh, I'm 500 pounds. It's like, I know how damn big I am. I don't need to run around and tell everybody how damn big I am. You know what I mean? And I think my promos have gotten better the past year anyway, because I don't say a damn thing that kid hands me with that sheet of paper to write. Like, they hand me the paper. Well, we need to get, Vince wants me to promote this. He wants this. And, okay, good. And then every time I come back through the curtain, that's very good. That's very good. I didn't say a damn thing that he wrote. It's ridiculous.
Hey, next time if you're going to do the hey I'm 500 pound thing, could you say hey I'm 500 pounds and I use a Cold Steel Broken Skull Steve Austin?
And I prefer the Broken Skull IPA Pale Ale.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'll get on that.
Appreciate you working with me.
No problem.
All right, let me jump in here for a second, Paul. Let's take a break here and take a pause for the calls of the sponsors that keep this show on the air for free. I'm coming back with a big show. It's Wrestlemania 32 on Sunday. Hey, man, we've all had those times when you need a little extra money, and I've got a real easy way that you can come up with that extra money. Drive with Uber. I know you guys know all about Uber, and I know most of you have the Uber app on your smartphones already. But did you know that Uber and the Uber app can help you make extra money driving your car? And the best thing about driving with Uber is that it's totally flexible. You make your own schedule. You decide when you want to drive. You get to decide how long you want to drive. Whenever you want to make some extra scratch, just turn on the app and drive. And it's really easy to get started. All you got to do is go to drivewithuber.com to sign up for free. You can do it right now from your phone. Drivewithuber.com. You just answer a few questions about yourself and your car, and then you get approved. Once you're approved, you start driving. I told you it was easy. So start enjoying the flexibility of working when you want and earning extra money on your schedule. Sign up to Drive with Uber today. Go to drivewithuber.com. That's drivewithuber.com. One last time, and I'll spell it out for you. drivewithuber.com. Hey, man, let's talk about travel a little bit.
All right.
You started using the bus how many years ago, 10?
2005.
2005.
Yeah, 10 years. Oh, my God. Wow, that's fast.
Yeah, and I'm mad at the goddamn Hornet over here because I was thinking, like, first of all, I love – here's how it goes in the business of pro wrestling. And, Paul, you jump in here and tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm leading you astray, or when you first get in the business, you're piled in the car with a bunch of guys. Because you ain't got no money. You're all starving.
Absolutely
you buy gas and all that other bullshit.
And if you're the youngest one, you're doing the driving.
Yeah, if you can drive good. Because you might be in the back because you ain't worth the fuck.
No, I was a good driver.
But then all of a sudden you're crammed in a hotel with a bunch of you because you ain't got no money.
You're always splitting a room.
Yeah, finally you get into a bigger promotion. You start making money, and the crowd dissipates a little bit. You're traveling with one or two guys because they're your partners, or you make good money, you go solo. I went solo because I started making money, and then I'm a lone wolf anyway.
Yeah.
So then I was doing my thing. But so then I get out of the business, and all of a sudden, who was the first guy to do the tour bus?
I think, honestly, the first guy was maybe Scott Steiner, but I think he kept his family on the bus, and I don't think he went home. I think he stayed on the bus and went to the next.
Steiner did it.
I think Steiner did a tour bus.
But he didn't do it like you guys did.
No. He had a,
y'all year round.
Yeah, and I don't know if Scott was driving his bus or not. He might have been driving his own. Like Booker will do that sometimes. Booker has a Winnebago in some of the towns in Texas. He'll drive his family. I looked at it as in I come back from an overseas flight into Detroit. We had the Monday Night Raw in Grand Rapids. I'm driving to Grand Rapids. We had to wear the suit and ties. We had that dress code thing going.
How was that? That's bullshit. I remember they started a little bit of dress code when I was there.
Oh, it was brutal.
I was one of the guys where, I kind of just got to look over and like they wasn't going to take
Well, dude, you were
out.
selling too many tickets. They weren't going to say shit to you. You know how that works. Yeah.
You're great. You're going to Grand Rapids and you're looking all dapper. And
Well, I had the tie on, and I also got a little bit of pneumonia from the traveling. I'm sick, and I started coughing really bad, and I passed out. And spun the Navigator around 2 times in a row, went up a bank, pulled 3 tires off, and didn't flip it.
Your big Navigator that you had down in Florida?
No. This is a rental car. And it was funny, though, because after that happened, I coughed, but with a tie, I started coughing. I choked myself out. And I just said,
damn, dude,
I
that's
said, you know
crazy
what?
as fuck.
Yeah, because I remember trying
Anybody
to.
in the car with you?
No, I was by myself because I'm a lone wolf too. I mean, I like to do my own thing, and I don't ever want to inconvenience anybody. I'll give anybody a ride, but I do my own thing at my own pace. So after that, I looked into leasing because time you spend, if I'm going to get a big enough car to fit, I'm going to spend $150, $200 a day on a rental car for a big SUV to fit in. I'm not going to stay at the Red Roof because I'll fold the Red Roof bed up like a taco. So I got to stay at a Marriott or a Hyatt or a Hilton. I got to stay at something with a better facilities. You know what I mean? So time you average that all out, and then you look into leasing a tour bus and a driver. For me, it's a little bit more expensive than a year. It goes on your taxes. You can write off a large percentage of it, but it's an investment in yourself. And that's the thing now. I think that's why I've been able, at 44, I've been able to keep the full-time schedule now is because I do have that bus. I mean, after a show, 20 minutes after a show, I got hot food. I'm showered. I'm in the bed with my Superman pajamas on. Sports Center's on the TV, and I'm playing Angry Birds. So
How do you spend your time, pass the time while you're on the road and driving from town to town? Because back in the day, you really pretty much, this is universally, this is the way it was on the road. You always talked about the business. You broke down each other's matches. Then, of course, you started booking the territory and you put yourself on top, or at least in the middle of the card.
If you're booking, you're always on top because you're the only one who can get it done.
Yeah, well, if not, you're giving yourself a push.
Yeah, you got to.
So, goddamn, here's what I'd do with me if I had to book.
If I had to book, yeah.
So you always talk
I'd
about
win the Battle Royal, the Tag Team Championships by myself, the Intercontinental.
Well, see, in your case, you can like, look, I'm the biggest motherfucker. I'm 500 pounds. He's got
500 pounds, yeah.
Because I'm a giant. So then, obviously, you're going to book for yourself.
Obviously.
So here I am.
That never changes.
Goatee and the black trunks and the knee braces. I'm crippled. Give me a push.
Yeah.
So what do you do to pass time? Because normally you talk about the business all day.
Yeah,
and all night. If you're a night driver, which I used to be, then I turned into a daytime driver. I didn't like to drive at night. I'd go right to the lobby and shenanigans, whatever.
Yeah, well, I got the bus now, so I mean, I have my iPad, so I'm still in the business.
But are you trying to do any kind of business? Are you involved in anything outside the business?
Yeah, I'm creating some stuff. I'm working on actually creating some different things, some shows. I'm reading for a lot of parts here and there, starting to investigate in that stuff. And but most of the time on the bus, I do a lot of research on a lot of old matches and stuff like that, and I've got a lot of downloaded really, really old vintage stuff that I'm looking at.
Dude, I don't imagine
I still
you
love
going
the
through
business.
the archives and just seeing what kind of scientific shit Nick Bockwinkel was going to pull
No,
out.
but I still love all that stuff, though, man. I love how they could make, the most exciting thing was a shoulder tackle. 15-minute match. And
you remember Mike Graham?
Yes, of course. I used my roommate in Atlanta.
Right. You remember how he used to take a tackle?
Yes.
He'd take a tackle and roll through because it made sense that the guy hit him so hard he'd kind of go back on his back, but roll through, come up, and be ready for the drop down or whatever was next.
Yeah.
It was such a great part of the transition because a high spot is a transition. The reason for a high spot is to get a guy out, off of a hold. If a guy has a headlock on you and you can't get out of that headlock, you finally do it with momentum and you send him in. Or if he's got your arm and arm bar, you send him in, and you're trying to trick him.
I just explained the theory behind psychology to one of the guys the other day, and I'll let him remain nameless to protect his identity.
What'd you tell him?
But I said, here's the thing. I said, here's the concept between a heel and a babyface. A heel and a babyface, a true heel in a one-on-one confrontation with a true babyface cannot out-wrestle that babyface. Therefore, he has to resort to an underhanded tactic to get the upper hand on that babyface, which is a heat spot. Somewhere in there, you have to get heat. Now, during that heat, you'll have a hope spot. The hope spot is when the babyface shows that he's still alive. I'm still alive. I've still got fight. The reason a heel turns it up on the babyface after that hope spot,
if you're not too blowed up, you're laying in a chin lock.
Right.
Go ahead.
But you shouldn't be. People didn't pay money for you to sit on your ass and suck wind. You got to keep moving. Is because as a heel, you're insulted this bastard fought back while you're gloating. You're enjoying this. How dare you fight back? That's why you turn it up. Now, in a comeback, the babyface has somehow managed to even the odds out so that now they're both on a level playing field. And the heel is now psychologically, while he's feeding this comeback, trying to hustle to regain control because he's lost control. That's the psychology behind it. So that's how I explain, shine, heat, comeback, finish.
Yeah, and it's like that babyface, after finally being ground down for so long, and the heat, it continues to mount, and hopefully that babyface is over. The crowd gets behind him. Here comes the crowd. All of a sudden, here comes the babyface. He eats that, a whole spot or two, and then comes the big spot for the comeback where seemingly, with the momentum of the crowd behind him, he's eating an invisible can of spinach.
Yes.
He's been beaten to death, but now he's going to make that fucking...
But in stages. He can't go from zero to hero.
Yeah, but then it's like, fuck, these days the baby faces are out punching the heels, but in a perfect world, he hadn't really used too many closed fists yet, and then it's like, hey, fuck you, fuck everybody.
Right.
If I've got to go, if I've got to tag you, I'm going to tag you.
Right.
Whether it's punches, clotheslines, this, that, or whatever.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
However you translate.
Enough's enough. Here comes, motherfucker.
I'm giving you everything I got. I'm done fucking around.
And that's the premise behind the comeback, and it's got to be done with a believable fire. And there's a difference between, I think, and I think it's individual to each guy, real fire and manufactured fire.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the mean streak is being a heel. You can act mean, or you can really be mean.
Yeah, I think Brock Lesnar doesn't have a problem demonstrating a mean streak.
Oh, no.
No, because he's a mean dude anyway. He's the greatest freaking guy on the planet.
Yeah.
One of my dearest friends.
Yeah.
But, Brock's a no bullshit guy for real. And he translates that. You know what I mean? So I think it's tough for a lot of kids now because some of the guys can't translate that or don't understand why. That's why I try to help them sometimes. That's why I'm out here killing all the talent that all the smart marks think I'm doing. I'm actually taking all my old ass and I'm trying to help them and understand a little bit so it'll help them to help their character to get better,
What do you think about I like to call it, well, I don't know that I'm naming it myself, but I now refer to it as the NXT movement because I feel something with that. I
think what it is I think it's amazing because you see the hunger in the kids' talent and they haven't been cookie cutter stamped to fit WWE Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, they haven't been harnessed. They've been able to creatively explore. They're sticking with. I mean, they're sticking with the basics. They're sticking to true work. There's nothing fancy about what they're doing.
But they're hungry. They're free.
Yeah.
They're hungry and free, and I think that's the biggest thing that's a little different with us because I think Paul does a really good job at NXT of understanding how to give these kids more time, give these kids a little bit more freedom on the mic, give these kids a little bit more freedom in their matches to go out there and get yourselves over. It's the old edition, I dare you to go get over. He's given them the opportunity to do that. And I think that's one of the things that hurts our program now with a 3-hour Raw because there's so much shit crammed in there, guys aren't getting a lot of time to get over. And, up here, you got 2 weeks with something, then boom, it's gone. They're on to something else. And that's not a fair assessment to give anybody new that's coming in. Nobody can get anything done in 2 weeks. It takes time to get stuff done in 2 weeks. And that's why I'm really happy with NXT because you see these kids get a chance to get over, they build a following. It's just like when you used to work the independent territories. You got over in those independent territories and you work Portland, you work Texas, you work Tennessee, you work Florida, you work New York, Maine, North Carolina. You work all those, and pretty soon when you're nationwide, everybody knows who you are. So they're following you, they're behind you. That's what I love about this NXT movement because it reminds me a lot of the loyal old ECW fans, how passionate the ECW fans were. It's the same kind of feeling because, here's the thing. A lot of people don't want that corporate cookie cutter stamp that is the mainstay. They want to feel that rebelness. They want to feel that fighting against a system that's different. I mean, that's like you got embraced when you were doing your thing and you were on fire. You were the man that fought the establishment and it worked. So I like that.
But the thing also that I noticed about the crowd, seemingly to me, now if you did a study of the demographics, I could be completely wrong, but it seems like I know there's a lot of crossover, big crossover, because it's basically the same company.
Right.
But NXT is a different division. There seems to be kind of a younger crowd.
There are more hip crowd. It's like the crowd.
I was going to call them hipsters.
Yeah.
And I don't like the word millennial. So,
but that's too big a word for me to spell.
It's kind of it's the first time I ever heard it.
You got a college education, don't you? You got an education, don't you?
Yeah. I don't have a college degree. I had 17 hours to graduate, but when I left, I did have I think I had a 67 average. Hey, man, right?
Hey,
I turned out okay.
You turned out okay.
But there seems to be it's more of a hipster crowd, and I mean a wrestling crowd, but it's definitely to me. And there's a lot of kids at the big show. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
I meant the WWE, the Monday Night Raw.
Well, we have a lot of. You see, that's the thing too is we have a lot of families. We have dads coming with 6 or 7 kids, the nephews and the cousins and the sons and daughters. So you have a lot of little kids there, and which is fantastic because I love them being a part of the product and I love putting on shows for them. But the fire and energy that we used to get in the Attitude Era when we were working towards that 18 to 35 crowd, you know what I mean? That was a different energy crowd. A lot of these crowds that we have now are the younger kids because they're so excited to be there. Now, the NXT crowd isn't pulling the younger kids.
Sitting there taking a picture of the big show while I was talking. I'm going to post this on my Twitter account, Steve Austin BSR, how happy he is to be here drinking a Broken Skull IPA and having a
I'm damn happy to have a Broken Skull IPA. I'm probably going to get fined in a few minutes.
No, my wife just sent me a text message. She goes, "Are you podcasting?" Because I was sitting there trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and I am. So I took a picture of the big show to text to my wife to prove that I was actually podcasting.
Is that like the old deal where you have have your buddy answer the phone in the room? Yeah, he's asleep. He's knocked out. He's tired. Meanwhile, you're down at the bar talking to the flight attendant from U.S. Airlines? Right.
Dude, there was one time, and I can't remember if this true or it's not true, but when I was down...
But it's a damn good story.
Yeah, but I was down in Atlanta. I lived in Douglasville. I was down in my basement working on my dirt bike. Had a two-stroke 490. The summit was crazy, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they had no plans for me at all. And all of a sudden, some guy got hurt. It was because Dr. Death was working. Who was his partner? Terry Gordy got hurt.
Terry Gordy.
So and we were supposed to work with Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes. Well, they were. And so they called me, hey, we need Steve in whatever town it was to be at a pay-per-view. And I'm thinking like, man, fuck you, man. If you didn't book me on a pay-per-view, why do I want to be at the pay-per-view?
Right.
You didn't see fit to have me on the card to begin with. Now, all of a sudden, I'm out there turning a wrench on my dirt bike, and you want me to go to a show? I think I told my wife at the time, tell them I'm not home. And I think that was I got my stories mixed up. That was the alleged story when WCW called me to go to TV. That day, I did answer the phone, and it was Bill Watts, either that or Kevin Sullivan, saying, hey, kid, we need you to come up here and be a part of the pay-per-view, which that sucked ass when you're about to ride your dirt bike, and then you got to do a pay-per-view, and you know you're not going to get paid for the pay-per-view to begin with.
Yeah, but you're not going to get the payday you want. You should have gotten if you had gotten to promote it and pushed with it and got a featured spot. You're going to get a thanks for showing up today payoff.
But anyway, I don't know how I even segued in that bullshit story. Question, how have the crowds changed from when you started watching the business back in the day or when you broke in to now?
How does it change?
Yeah, the crowds.
Crowds have changed. They're much more family-oriented. I think when we lost...
Can you get heat anymore on a guy? Can a guy get true heat?
I don't think so. I don't think we have any true heels left in the business. You know,
is that because of the business, because of fans?
Both. Business has changed, absolutely. Because here's the thing, you know, we've structured our business so that the referee has integrity now, which I have a huge problem. I don't give a shit about the referee. I really don't.
But I do. I mean, because
I like the heels being able to get heat.
But when Earl Hebner was going out there to referee a match or Tim White,
you're talking about
Tommy Young back in the day.
You're talking about the greatest referees of all time.
Yeah, but when they came out there, I'm like, man, those referees were over. Now, they weren't drawing the house.
No.
But, dude, I loved having Baby Earl, Tim, those guys.
Right, but they also worked with the heel, and it was okay for the heel to get something done behind their back. That's not. It doesn't happen now.
They didn't bury the workers were good enough that they didn't bury the ref.
Yeah, but the problem is now is that, you know, that wasn't the case. A lot of the guys were burying the refs so bad with the spots they're doing, so therefore they eliminated everything. And here's the problem. I mean, you got to figure when you left and Rock left and, you know, for a while there was a big void with a lot of stuff like that, and our business has changed. I mean, we have a lot of kids now that they don't understand heat. They don't understand it. I mean, there's the guy you're supposed to boo. They get it. But, you know, most of our guys that are supposed to be heels are baby faces. Bray Wyatt's got the coolest entrance of anybody, next to maybe Undertaker, you know. But it's hard for him to be a heel because he cuts fantastic promos. He's got a cool gimmick. You know, I mean, he's not the prettiest guy on the planet. I get it, but he's a hell of a worker. He's got snap. He's got fire. He cuts great promos. How do you hate a guy like that? You know what I mean?
Well, it's cool. He puts on that southern drawl, and it's just, it's like if you could listen to a glass of Jack Daniels and Coke poured down someone's throat. I mean, that's
a pretty good analogy, man. That was some deep poetry there.
Yeah.
That was some deep poetry.
But I've been researching Jack Daniels because it was on my computer.
I figured you would call him John Daniels as well as you know him. You wouldn't really call him Jack, would
Actually, Jack Daniels' name was Jasper.
Jasper, there you go.
They called him Jack.
All right.
But get this. He went into the whiskey business with another guy by the name of, I think it was Don Call or John Call. Anyway, and he was a preacher. And
really?
Yes.
Didn't know that.
The whiskey business started taking off. This is way back, I think it was 1800s, late 1800s, give or take, because Jack Daniels is 150 years old this year. So Jack Daniels was in business with his preacher, John Call. And the preacher's wife says to him, you either got to keep preaching or sell the business. So he sold the business to Jasper Daniels at the time, who was 13 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So, anyway, turns out, if you look at a bottle of Jack, and I'm sure you will at some point here in the near future.
Yeah.
There's
about 4 hours from now.
Yeah. It says Jack Daniels, Old Number 7. That was the formula. He never told anybody what Old Number 7 formula meant. He kayfabed that to his grave. He never said anything to anybody what the old number 7 formula was. So what was formula 1 through 6?
Right.
What happened after 7? Was there an 8, 9, 10, but you just always stuck with number 7?
Right.
And here's another thing. On the article that I read on my computer, there's a picture of this old safe in his office. Well, one day he forgot the combination to the safe and he kicked it. Well, it fucked up his toe. He got an infection. He got gangrene in his leg and had to have it amputated, and then died sometime after that after kicking the safe because he couldn't remember the fucking combination. Can you believe that story?
That's brutal.
Shouldn't,
That's how karma builds. I'll remember that the next time I kick the steps.
don't kick the steps. You got a safe at the house, right?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I have a friend of mine that has these gun safes that he has this real good hookup with gun safes. He was supposed to hook me up and never
Dude,
called me
my guy
back.
tapped out. My guy, he ain't with them no more.
He tapped out? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's too much excuse. We need to get a good gun safe.
Hey,
We'll put him over.
Hey, I'm going to let you in on a little secret about TrueCar and the TrueCar app. You can use TrueCar to help you buy a used car. It ain't just for new car purchases. Hey, there are over 500,000 pre-owned vehicles available from TrueCar certified dealers nationwide, all across the USA. And there are over 11,000 TrueCar certified dealers. And TrueCar lets you get upfront pricing information on new and used vehicles and lets you see what other people paid for the car you want so that you feel confident you're getting a fair price. With TrueCar, via their TrueCar pricing curve, you see what other people paid for the car, and you lock in your guaranteed savings. Then you connect with a local certified dealer of your choosing, take them your TrueCar guaranteed savings certificate, and make your car buying experience quick and easy. Over 2 million cars have been sold to TrueCar users by the TrueCar certified dealer network. And TrueCar users save an average of over $3,000 off MSRP. So when you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar.com or download the TrueCar app to enjoy a better car buying experience. Some features not available in all states. Before we wrap this thing up, I'm a fan of shooting. Guns are real controversial right now. We're not talking about the people that are doing stupid things with guns. We're talking about going out in the middle of nowhere in the country and shooting targets and shit like that.
Right. Yeah.
And I like to hunt and stuff.
Yeah.
You're a big gun fan.
Yes, sir.
You got a badass 308. I got about 6 of them. For some reason, I fell in love with that cartridge.
Yeah. It's a great round.
Have you built another gun?
I've built a couple ones. I've got a M4 right now, 223 with 8-inch barrel suppressed. It's a real fun little rifle to play with.
What was the deal with getting the suppressor cleared? Because I'm
well, you got to get your stamp. I did my incorporation and did the.
I'm in it right now. I'm still in my waiting period.
Yeah, it takes a while because sometimes usually like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Alabama all have one guy that does all the paperwork for that stuff. So, I like to suppress stuff just because it's easier on my ears.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have the good cans and stuff. I mean, I have a suppressor on my Glock that it looks like something out of Blade Runner. I almost feel like an asshole when I use it at the shooting range because it's about, 22 inches long with a friggin' suppressor on it. It's pretty crazy. But my personal favorite weapon that I have out of all of them, I've got an MP5. I've got some other cool things, but my favorite is my Kimber 45. I love it. I just it's.
So you dig the single action over the double action?
Yeah, absolutely.
But why so? Because here's my point. When I leave, I put one. I carry 45 myself.
Right.
When I'm at the house or at the ranch.
Big ass rattlesnakes out there. Gotta have it.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about that. That's I got my wife a 9mm.
Right.
It's a Glock, and for
a lot of people like the Glocks.
But listen, here's the reason why. Because I love a Kimber too. I got 5 of them in the safe.
Right.
So I dig it. But when you're thinking about single action and you're talking about someone who does not shoot a lot and who is not proficient with a gun but needs the protection, the Glock has basically 2 or 3 built-in safeties, one on the back of the gun, one in front of the gun. When you pull the trigger, you have one.
Right.
On the single action, speaking of the Kimber, Colt, whatever, you got to flick that safety on and off, and you can go cocked and locked. You can do whatever you want, but in a time of stress, if someone's charging down that hallway, I just tell her, hey, when I leave, I put one in the pipe. I say it's hot. Center mass.
Right.
So she knows all she's got to do is pull the trigger.
Right.
That's my only argument for a double action.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Glock, Glock, Glock.
Well,
I'm
here's
saying double action.
my problem with a Glock is my hands are too big. I mean, I have one, but I have to do all the components
How much
right.
bigger is that fucking Kimber? I figures a guy like you just go get a big-ass Desert Eagle.
No, yeah, I had a Desert Eagle, and I felt like the biggest asshole in the world. I ordered it titanium, and it showed up gold, and I just felt like, oh, look at this big asshole with his big gold gun. You know he's got a small dick. I mean, it was just the worst thing in the world. I was embarrassed to pull it out.
Dude, here's a true story. I was leasing a house right outside of San Antonio. There's 400 acres attached to it. Got a Desert Eagle. I got a 50 cal, and I got a 45. Of course, I had to have two of them.
Right.
So I went out there at 50, and I got a pretty good set of mitts on me. Not like you, but nonetheless, I shot that motherfucker, and some bitch jumped up. Some bitch jumped up. I shot about 5 times, and I don't know why I said I could have said pow. But anyway,
cow sounded cool.
Cow was that was a sound effect that I was using for the gun going off, and I just said, you know what? Fuck this motherfucker. I pulled the clip out of it, ejected the shell. I used it as an ornament on my coffee table for a couple of years, and I sold it to a dude just because I'm so fucking cheap. I didn't see any need to have the gun sitting around if I wasn't going to use it, so I sold it. Most worthless gun I ever had in my life.
Here's the thing. I fired a lot of rounds to that Desert Eagle that I had, and after so many rounds, the spring heats up on it. It gunks up real fast. Doesn't eject the casings. Plus, that slide would go back. I still have scars on the top of my thumb where the slide goes back.
Dude, when that happens, that's the worst.
It just cuts my thumb. So my gun hand's all bleeding. I look like some kind of road warrior, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome lunatic covered in soot. There's about a 3-foot ball of fire that flies at the end of it. It's just it's a gun for somebody that just wants to. It's not a shooter's pistol.
But when you do the thing with the slide, and you only do it really once,
yeah, you'll learn.
Do it 2 or 3 times, something's up.
Well, your hand's too big. Like my meat's too big for it, so it got me a couple of times. And I love that camber.
Okay, so you're not stupid, but if you got a normal hand and it keeps happening, you're dumb. Put the gun away and leave it alone.
Yeah, I don't mess with that. I got rid of my Desert Eagle too. I love that camber. It's all custom out, and it's got like a 3-ounce trigger on it. It's beautiful.
The other couple of months ago,
it's like a sewing needle.
A couple of months ago, me and my wife were riding around my Kawasaki Mule out there at the ranch, and big ass rattlesnake coiled up on the corner down there at the south side of the ranch. I was carrying at the time a Springfield XD9.
Oh, nice.
What I like about that Springfield XD9, it's kind of built along the lines of the Glock. Mm-hmm. It's a lightweight gun, and I think the clip capacity is damn near 20-21.
9mm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted something, light recoil.
Yeah.
I love 45, but I got the Springfield XD9. All of a sudden, there's a rattlesnake. So anyway, I get the damn pistol out. It's hot, loaded up. I'm fixing to shoot the damn snake. Man, you know me for a long time. You've worked with me. You know I can't hear very well.
Yeah.
So when I got
What?
One tackle drop down, hip toss, So anyway, there's a rattlesnake in my front sights, and I'm thinking, man, I ain't got no ears. I don't have any hearing protection.
Yeah.
So I know if I shoot this fucking snake, the
rest of the day you're not hearing nothing.
Yeah, it's going to sound like I'm listening to a tin can. So I think, okay, picture, if you're listening to me right now, do this. Put your both arms in front of you like you're holding a pistol, and then try to hunch your shoulders up and cover your ears up. That's what I was trying to do.
You didn't do this one. You shoot it one-handed.
That's a good idea.
I've done that.
That's a good idea. Big Show just held his right arm up, and he used his left arm to reach around the top of his head and push his right eardrum in and cover up a little bit of his left ear with his bicep. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
So it gets better.
This is the one-arm shooting.
Yeah.
Now it's all
dude,
off.
That is fucking great. That shows how fucking stupid I am. But here's how the story gets worse or better, depending on where you're at. So I was going to shoot the snake, and I don't want to shoot him because I want to blow my ears out. And my wife, Kristen, who has 2 degrees and is very smart, she goes, I'll stand behind you and hold your ears.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, but what about her ears?
Exactly. That's what I told her. I said, well, fuck. I said, what about your ears? She goes, I didn't think about that. I should have shot the stage. Bam, 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 bam. Or to do it in other terms, ka, 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 ka. She goes, why'd you have to shoot him so many times? It was a rib.
It was a rib.
I
That's
can't
awesome.
Hear you.
What?
Yeah. I don't think I would be getting any.
It's not good to rib the people that take care of you at home.
Hey, so let's do the go home here.
All
It's
right.
Wednesday. You're here. How many activities you got before Sunday? The big show.
The big show. I've got a few activities. I've got some activities that are pretty cool. I've got a Superstars for Hope charity tomorrow night. I'm doing that, and I've got Friday. I've got a golf tournament with some people, which I told them I'm not playing golf. I don't play golf ever since Brian Adams passed away. He's a very dear friend of mine. You know Brian.
Yeah.
We used to golf a couple times a week. Dude, my golf clubs are rotten. The handles are rotten. I said, I'll come, I'll show up, I'll drive the beer cart, no problem. That's like putting the fox in charge of the hen house, so Friday's going to be a good day for me. I'll be hammered. Nobody else will probably get a beer Friday, but that's just the way it goes when you ask me to show up. Got some cool stuff to do at Access. Got a flag football game with Special Olympics, I think, and got Hall of Fame Saturday night, an Access Sunday morning, and then Mania Sunday night.
Man, I came to this company in 1995. The back end, 96, started getting a little bit of something going and then got hot. And I was only around for, half dozen WrestleManias. Does it amaze you? Because when the first one happened, or the first one happened, but then the third one in the Silverdome, when Steamboat Savage put on that clinic.
Was that amazing?
It's
got to be one of the best matches of all time.
Yeah,
although I think one of the Undertaker Shawn, that first one they had a couple years ago, was one of my favorite WrestleMania matches.
If you look at the greatest Mania matches of all time, I mean, Shawn's in half of them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how friggin' good he is.
Fucking goofy. I mean, that motherfucker's bad. Everybody knows that. But my point is, although they drew the one house of 93,000 at WrestleMania 3, my point is, can you believe that WrestleMania, the event, has turned into the event? Because that was one night back in the day at number 3. Now we're at 32, and going back the past few years, when you guys were at the Stadium Orlando, when you guys were in Santa Clara last year, 31. I think I'm getting my facts straight. My point is, now it's an arena.
It's a global phenomenon.
Stadium, and it brings over $100 million to the city that hosted. Over $100 million.
I think it brings. Actually, I think it brings $100 million to the city, or $15 million, $100 million to WWE.
No, it brings in $100 million to this economy.
Really? That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's phenomenal. That's an amazing thing for the cities. That makes sense why they bid on it. That's good. Anytime, that's one thing about WWE that I will say is very cool about it. Vince's motto has always been about giving back. That putting smiles on people's faces just isn't a bullshit slogan to make people enjoy your product. He does get involved with communities. He does want to make sure local businesses do well. He wants to bring economy in because that's Vince's motto. I mean, yes, he makes money, but he also wants people that work with him to make money too. He's never been an all for me and none for you kind of guy. You know that.
And wrapping this thing up, it's funny because I was going back to the video that someone sent me on my email. It was 2001. It was Rock and Triple H, and I did a run-in. Classic Vince McMahon face when that music hit. But you go back to that moment in time. But and even before, when I first came in the company, and of course those days back when Vince was just doing interviews beside the ring and doing announcing. And I always enjoyed his commentary because it was so enthusiastic. He knew where all the pieces were going because he owned the place he was booking.
Yeah.
So he could be over the top and he could be a little hokey at times. I thought it was great.
I miss that. I
do too.
I miss
Gorilla and Ventura.
Yeah, I miss some of that great commentary. Even JR's Bobby Heenan. I miss JR's commentary too.
Bobby Heenan with it was Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
But, of course, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. But my point is,
Jerry Lawler's amazing,
too.
The
old man always, and people will bitch all the time about the booking, and I'm critical of it myself.
But that's what we do. If you wear wrestling boots, you bitch about the booking.
But that man is out there. When I go back and watch everything that he's ever done, he one thing he does is if you're a wrestler, if you're a talent, meaning you're an announcer in the ring, this, that, or whatever, he gives you an opportunity.
Yeah, he does.
And if you can do something with it, he will run with you.
He will run with you.
And sometimes he'll miss every now and then, but I think
by far his percentage is pretty damn good.
I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame if we're talking about batting percentage.
Yeah.
But he just wants to give you your money's worth.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And you can bitch and complain. And the business has changed.
Yeah.
And people will be critical of it, but the man's hungry, and he's still hungry after all the years.
He likes to fight. He likes that fight. He likes to go out there and give the best show every night. And here's the thing with him, though. He's got his philosophy. Treat every day like your first day of work. And if you think about the first day on the job, you got a positive attitude, you want to work hard, you're happy to be there, and you're ready to do whatever. And if you can maintain that attitude even after 17 years like I have, it works. I mean, yeah, sure. I bitch about my book and, I could have been a better giant. I could have been this. I could have been that. You know what? In all sincerity, we talked on your show. We said, what ifs? Yeah. Screw a bunch of damn what ifs. I'm pretty damn happy with everything I've done. I've got the respect of my peers. I got the respect of my bosses. Most of the fans know what I've created and what I've done. I've made my mark. I'm happy with it. I sleep at night with my head on the pillow. I sleep fine. I'm happy as hell. I'm 44 years old, still working 5 days a week on the road with a bunch of great kids, a bunch of great talent, and hell, I got the best job in the world.
I want to be. I'm going to be excited to see Vince shake his hand and say congratulations on 32. 32 years in the making from the first one when he put his balls on the table.
Balls on the line.
Because everybody thought that somebody was going to shit the bed.
Wow.
And we wasn't going to, and all of a sudden it blew up. I mean, and from that moment on, it
and look how many lives and careers he's made since he put his balls on the line like that. Rock was able to do what he was able to do. You've been able to do what you've had to do. I've been able to do what I have. John Cena, all these guys that have come in, and we've all been able to be successful here. And I majored in philosophy in college. I dropped out of college. I mean, I'd be one of the coolest guys at Jiffy Lube changing oil if it wasn't for this. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm thankful.
With all due respect to Jiffy Lube.
Yeah, with all due respect.
Dude, if I roll up on Jiffy Lube and drive over that island on that pit and I see your big ass down there, I'm like, what?
You're going to get the air filters done too, whether you need it or not, right?
Yeah. Go ahead and do the windshield wipers.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm talking to the Big Show. He's got to haul ass, go do some functions. It's WrestleMania 32. Access starts tomorrow. This podcast drops tomorrow. There's all kinds of stuff to do here in Dallas, Texas. People are coming from all over the world to this illustrious, awesome, badass event. It's at the greatest stadium in the world right now, AT&T Stadium.
This stadium is unbelievable.
I'm anxious to see what Jason has done with the lighting. Jason.
Yeah.
Spectacular. How many people can they jam in there? We will see, but it's going to be awesome. Everybody's primed up, ready to go. I was in the green room earlier. There's a buzz in the air. Yep. The guys and gals ready to go up there and put up or shut up.
Put up or shut up. I'm ready. 2-time Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. I'm looking forward to getting something done twice in a row.
Big Show, I thank you for helping me out on this podcast.
I'm here for you. Thank you for the knife. Thank you for the Broken Skull beer. If you give that, I'll show up and pretty much do anything. This has become, literally, I'm not just saying this because you're my friend and it's your product. This, ladies and gentlemen, this Broken Skull IPA India Pale Ale is the best damn beer I've ever had. Bottom line.
With that being said, he's going to get to keep the Cold Steel Broken Skull Steve Austin knife. I was going to take it back and say it was a rib, but after being put over like that, I can't be an Indian giver. All right, everybody, give me the go-home cue. It's time to wrap up this podcast and ride off into the sunset. Hey, man, WrestleMania 32 is just a few days away. I'm in Dallas, Texas. It's great to be back in the city where I started my professional wrestling career. I'll tell you what. I'm not really going to ride off in the sunset. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to grab me a bite to eat, and I'm going to seek out the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo! Maybe I'll find him, maybe I won't. But looking to have a cocktail with him, shoot the breeze about the good old times, and talk about what's going on now. And basically get ready to talk to the one and only Mick Foley. Tonight, as you listen to this podcast, if you're listening on Thursday on the WWE Network, live on the Stone Cold Podcast, it's going to be a great weekend. People from all over the world are coming here. And 32, Dallas, Texas, in the house that Jerry built. Capacity of over 100,000 people. We'll see what the WWE can put in. It's going to be a badass, hellacious event. I am looking forward to it. And that being said, I'm going to give you an old match to watch for something to watch today, and I'm going to go back to WrestleMania 3. If you've seen it before, watch it again. If you've never seen it, watch it now. It's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Macho Man Randy Savage. If you have the WWE Network, you can find it there. If you don't have the WWE Network, you can probably find it on Daily Motion or YouTube. But this was one of the greatest wrestling matches in the history of the business, as two of the greatest workers in the history of the business who had such tremendous chemistry in the ring, and all of a sudden you had the wonderful Miss Elizabeth ringside along with the legendary George the Animal Steele All the pieces were in place. The drama, the personal issues were high. The work was spectacular. The false finishes were spectacular. This was a match that influenced so many guys of the generation, of my generation and younger than me, to get into the business, because that's how dynamic and badass and off the charts and compelling and dramatic this match was. So, again, Randy Macho Man Savage versus Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. Anyway, hey, man, swig a beer. I got some brand new T-shirt designs available at BrokenSkullRanch.com and ProWrestlingTees.com. All the shit I've been wearing on Broken Skull Challenge and Redneck Island. Hey, man, Redneck Island, season finale. Coming down to the wire. We're going to see who's going to win $100,000. And at the Broken Skull Challenge, everything keeps moving along. The baddest athletes in the United States of America come out to prove their mettle, prove their worth, show what they got, and do it in front of the world, or at least in front of the United States, wherever the damn show goes. But hey, keep tuning in. Both those shows on CMT, Country Music Television, badass programming, whoop-ass TV. That's what we do, because that's what we know how to do, and that's what we specialize in. Fun and games on Saturday night, 10-9 Central with Redneck Island. And then we get down to it. Nothing but athletic prowess from the men and the women. Broken Skull Challenge comes on Sunday, 8-7 Central. Don't miss it. We've got several episodes to go. The stakes keep getting higher. The athletes keep bringing it at an unparalleled pace. Anyway, shout out to Broken Skull IPA at El Segundo Brewing Company. Stay tuned. Something's fixing to happen with Broken Skull IPA and El Segundo Brewing Company. Hey, if you're in California, it's at Whole Foods and Total Wines and InsideTheCellar.com on internet. They will deliver to your state if your state allows it. Hey, man, I want to give you guys a big shout out and say thank you guys for supporting the sponsor of the Steve Austin podcast, because these guys are the ones that let me do this for you free twice a week. Hello, free. So big thanks to DDP Yoga and the DDP Yoga Now app. 254club.com. Use my promo code Austin and you'll get a free pair of Robert Geller sunglasses. That's a $100 value to TrueCar and Uber. And thanks to Amazon, who've been supporting this podcast since day one. Just use my Amazon links whenever you're doing any online shopping, and Amazon will kick back a couple of bucks to the podcast, and it does not cost you anything extra. There are no hidden fees or charges. You buy whatever you plan on buying and help out the podcast in the process. We use these funds to pay for our production costs. That's how we're able to deliver 2 free cans of Audio Whoop-Ass every single week. That's how the podcast works. Thank you for the support of the sponsors. Thank you for the support on the Amazon sponsors, USA, UK, and Amazon. To find these links, just go to podcast1.com, click the Killer Deals button in the top right corner, and then click on the Steve Austin Show. Bookmark it, find it easier, do it in one step, and help out the show, keep us up and running. Hey, keep listening. The 60-second AP News headlines are coming up next. Until then, my name is Steve Austin. I'm in Dallas, Texas. WrestleMania 32 is coming up Sunday. Do not miss it. It's available free on the WWE Network. That's the bottom line, because I said so, and I will catch your ass down the road.
Download new episodes of Steve Austin Unleashed every Thursday at podcast1.com. That's podcastone.com.
Stay tuned for the latest AP News headlines from Podcast One right after this.
When shopping for car insurance, consider this. Geico has been saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. So if you're serious about savings, it's simple. Go to geico.com. After 75 years, they know how to save you money.
AP Update, I'm Ross Smithson. Adam Schiff, the ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, says U.S. officials are talking to French intelligence personnel as they try to determine what caused a Paris to Cairo flight to fall out of the sky over the Mediterranean.
Is there any information that we have that would shed light on any of the passengers? But there's nothing yet to confirm the cause of the plane crash.
FBI Director James Comey says intelligence agents from around the world, including some of his, are collaborating on possible causes of the Egypt Air crash.
So far, at least, we have no claim of responsibility or evidence that this was an intentional act, But the FBI, as you would expect, is working with our partners around the world to try and gain a better understanding of what happened. Given that we don't see any indication yet.
None of the 66 people on board American. AP Update, I'm Ross Simpson.